The Tale of Princess Kaguya is not the typical fairy tale you'd expect to be about a beautiful princess. It's one of tragedy and great emotional implosion. It's about the degrading of a free spirit to a static entity molded into her quote unquote rightful role in society. The running away scene, in my opinion, best encapsulates this major point in the film. For the whole film, Kaguya's role is defined for her without her say. She's pushed into this role of a worshipped princess because that was apparently what the heavens wanted for her. That's why the heavens gave her immense amounts of gold and clothes, because it was her divine duty. Honestly, if I ever had a gripe about this masterpiece of an animation, it's that the father definitely needed more time to reconcile for this mistake, because he ultimately took away Kaguya's free will. He essentially put Kaguya into this position for his own pride when the gifts from heaven could have easily been interpreted as some nice gesture for taking one of their own. This notion of Kaguya taking a backseat to her own life is shown literally when she sits out of her own party while a bunch of strangers have fun in her place.
本物の高貴な姫君でもあるまいに何をそうだ姫様は姫様お待ちください一体いくら払ったんだよその姫様とやらの名付けによいいじゃないかそんなことより見せろ見せろお待ちくださいこれお化けみたいだったりしてまさか
Kaguya listens in as people talk about her behind her back, judging her despite knowing nothing about her. She keeps on listening until she completely cracks, literally voiding out everything around her. The gradual intensity of the music and the increasing agony of Kaguya's facial expressions make the scene as emotionally grueling as it is. The thing that tops it off, however, is Kaguya's whimper. The dubbed version of this film is very well made, but these types of moments where raw emotion is displayed feel missing when compared to the original Japanese version. In a complete burst of emotions that have been suppressed for months on end, she wildly sprints outside. The way Kaguya's motions are animated look very unnatural, almost animalistic, like a wild prey escaping from being hunted. As she rushes outside hiding her face in shame, we see her blasting out of her robes one by one, literally stripping away her false identity, tired of wearing the mask. The music intensifies further and we see her rushing towards a full moon while desperately running away from her pain. A great example of foreshadowing for the final scene of the movie. We then zoom in onto her face. It's no longer solemn but full of rage and frustration, angry that she wasn't given a choice in the first place. Her figure becomes blurrier and less recognizable as her sense of identity dissipates. The music completely disappears, but we continue seeing Kaguya run through the woods. The silence becomes eerie as the only thing we hear are Kaguya's heavy footsteps and her small breaths of anguish. Her movements become more unstable and animal-like as she falls all over the place and even crawls on all fours. Then finally, she finds herself alone, walking in rags towards her old home, only to find complete strangers living there. She explores further, finding that the land has become barren. She encounters an older man in a hut who states that in only 10 years will life flourish over the fields once more. We see Kaguya leave her homeland and collapse onto the snow, only to discover that she never even left. This part of the film definitely hit me the hardest. The feeling of suppressing your emotions for the sake of your loved ones and wanting to make them proud but never feeling bold enough to speak your mind is something a lot of people, including myself, can relate to. Feeling like you have no control over your destiny and being stuck in a life that you feel isn't yours is a fear that I think everyone has deep down, and the film does an excellent job at portraying it. The desire to run but ending up in the same place all the same.